Welcome back to the Makeso workshop here in sunny Singapore, where we hold Makeso classes for on-site and local people, but we also create Hestai products which we sell on our Etsy and Amazon store online. So today you might see I'm wearing our Skull King graphic design shirt we made for the craft Makeso shop. We actually put out a couple videos on Instagram showing this, and this is the first videos we've done with the updated EZT Maximus, and we wanted to show this to you today. So what we're doing today with the EZT Maximus is we're unveiling it. It's the same EZT Maximus as we have before, same thickness, same size, same curve cut in the middle, same 3 inches from the bottom. The difference is that we've taken away the stars and we've added this graduated dot pattern here on the sides. And the reason we did that is because somebody asked us about doing back graphics on shirts. Can it be done? And would this guide be helpful? We actually started to do it. We were able to do it, but while we were doing it, we said there's a lot better way to do it if the markings were different. So since we produce these ourselves, we went ahead, we got to work, and we went ahead and made the change, and that's what you're going to see today. So what we're going to do with it today is we're going to finally get to that back graphic shirt by putting some wings on the back of this shirt here, and we're going to do that together with you, coming right up, doing the wings. Okay, we're here with the overhead view as we do, and we have in front of us the new Maximus with the graduated dot system, updated markings that we put on the side. And so, as stated in the intro, we have this updated Maximus that we're releasing on the market. It works primarily exactly the same when you use it on the front, just as it did before. The change we made were the dots of the marking here to the side. So the way you use it is pretty much standard to the way you used it before. You can see here we have our, this is called kind of a king skull design with the Makeso craft on the top of it. We did this design really because, as you can see, it's a lot of detail, small weeding in the middle. And so we're testing a new weeding product that we should have probably out on the market soon. We're being more careful this time with the way we release products because, as you know, we made the first ever T-shirt guide and everybody copied it and they're all over the place, and everybody from China is making so many cheap versions, and I'm getting people all the time sending me email, do you want to sell our 7-piece T-shirt set? And I'm like, why would you make a 7-piece T-shirt set? But I think they're trying to prey on people to say the more number in the sets, the better it is, and that's just clearly not true. If you want to see why that's not true, you can just head back to our updated FAQ video to see why you don't want 7 T-shirt guides all over the place in your thing. Really, you need 1, maybe 2, at the most 3, being maybe an infant, a standard, and a Maximus, but anything more than that is way overkill, and probably even 3 is more than overkill. But as you see, it's still the same Maximus T-shirt guide that we have here, that you line it up with the center and the graduated edge on the bottom. And the only thing we changed, we took off the stars and we added this dot graduated matrix here, so you could have more accuracy, primarily for doing back graphics. So we were asked to do a back graphics video. When I start doing the back graphics, I start looking at it and saying, wow, if this was marked differently, this could be a much more functional tool. So then we decided, since we make these ourselves and we're not mass producing in China, we were able to just grab it and said, let's make that change and do it. So we made that small change. It's just a change to the marking. As you can see, it's still the same 1/4 of an inch thick with the, if you could see that, the flame polished edge quality that you wanted out of the Maximus is still there. We're the only ones I know of that make it, and this is a solid, good piece of tool, and I think we do it at a great price, because if you look up, you need probably about a 24-inch by 12-inch piece of 1/4 inch acrylic to make this guide. If you go look that up on Amazon, you're going to see that's going to cost you, just to get that thick and that much of acrylic, it's going to cost you over $20 odd by itself. So the price point that we sell our Maximus for, we're pretty happy with the price point that we're selling it for, and we feel like we're giving you a nice, professional, quality, solid piece of tool. So to get to the new features of the markings here, we did it for back graphics, but you can actually use it in a way if you're ever doing, and I've never done it, but I think you could. Well, I've seen shirts that had collar graphics. If you're doing a collar graphic or something up in here, you could utilize these markings here to actually measure up in there. Get your carrier sheets off to the edge, line it up, and then just pull it away as you see me do there. So you could use it in the front for the top piece, but mostly it's for the back graphics. So let's get right into the back graphic. So doing a back graphic is quite simple, because you can flip your shirt over and you could feel the collar just falls right there, and you can feel it really nice. And so you could take your guide. This is a darker shirt, so I'm just gonna flip it over and use the opposite side so you can see better. And you can actually feel it nudge right up into the center of that shirt. So boom, we've got our center point, and now we have a center point for a back graphic. Now, back graphics can come in one of 3 ways. We're gonna show you what we think is the hardest way to do, but the easiest one is some people like to do a nape of the shirt, nape, I hope I'm saying that correctly, N-A-P-E, nape of the neck, sorry, graphic, which will go right here. That's fairly simple to do. It's gonna be a smaller graphic. I think those are pretty cool. It kind of gives a tag, a kind of branding to a shirt, and they could pop right in there. Only thing I would wanna say is you would wanna be careful with shirts that are tagless, because sometimes the imprinting that they put on that is right there, and it causes issue for you trying to actually put your HTV on top of it. I've ran into that issue a couple of times. The second one is just a center placard. If it was going to be like, if you were doing like a name on a basketball thing, this is where you'd want to take it and you'd want to use your lines. You probably want to creep up to about the 1-inch mark right there, and you would use these lines right here to put that across and keep it centered right here. If it was a graphic that was centered in the back of the shirt, you probably want to use just the bottom of the graphic, boom, and put it right in the center of the shirt there. Those are the pretty standard ways to use the back graphics, and the regular Maximus works perfectly fine for that. What we're going to do today, though, is we're going to, as you saw in the intro, we're going to take that gold shirt and we're going to put these wings on the back. And as you can see, my wings are attached together because I just took it and cut it on a 12 by 12 sheet right on our Cricut, and we ended up with 2 wings that came out in this sense. And so the wings are going to be higher up the shirt, so you would want the center. And here, we're, even if you were going to use these wings just like this, you could actually use the dots and actually move yourself up the shirt with the carrier sheet. So if I wanted those wings high up on the shirt, I could actually go high on the shirt here, lay it down, and pop it off there. Now that would be kind of cool, kind of interesting, but it's not exactly where I want these wings on the shirt to be. Realistically, to get a better look for the shirt, I am going to want the wings off center and over on the shoulders, where wings usually would end up being. Probably somewhere around here. But as obviously you can tell, with the carrier sheet connected, that would look crazy because this is way off to the side. So what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna have to detach the wings and put them on one at a time. And this is where our new variable dot system, not variable dot, graduated dot system is going to shine, because we could center the shirt, pull the shirt to the side as we're working. Actually, this mat underneath me is a 15 by 15 inch mat. So even my big heat press users, this is about as big as you're gonna get on your heat press as well, because it's the same size as the biggest heat press mat. So we're all probably working in the same world there. So when you set it up from here, then you could actually work with one wing and set it up by the dot and then match where you put it on this dot and match it to the exact side without these two wings being attached and being put on one at a time. And you can actually do it and press it, or you can put them both on at one time and press it. It probably in the end, and we'll look at this real quick, in the end, where you would want the wing is over here and over here, and it's going to be even off of a 15 inch heat press, which is what you see kind of the impression underneath me. That's a 15 inch heat press. So this is probably even, and in your biggest heat press, you're going to have to press this wing one at a time as well. And so when you're pressing one at a time, you want the ability to be able to center it up, get to a point on one side, do your work, and then be able to center it up again, get to your work on the other side, and put it up. Probably doing these wings like this is probably one of the most difficult things to do. That's why we're trying to do it, but it's probably one of the most common things, to put the wings on the back of a shirt. What I wanted to do, and I probably will do this in a future video, and this would probably take several pressings, and it's less about the t-shirt guide and more about the pressing, was to use my 24 inch one and do a wing that's about this big and comes all the way down to here. Big, huge, impressive cosplay style wings that I would love to have on the back of this. And people could do it in cosplay designs and stuff. You know, I always wanted to do cosplay, but I never did, because as you probably see, I'm kind of, you know, a little bit overweight and fat. And so if I cosplay, the only thing I could be is like the Hulk or Thanos. And I really want to be somebody like Yagami from Death Note. And if you don't know who Light Yagami from Death Note is, we can't be friends. But that's my whole cosplay thing there. But I'm going to probably save that for a later video on, because a bigger one like that is probably going to be, you're going to use your t-shirt guide to center it up, but it's going to be more about the multiple pressing coming down the shirt that it would take to do something like that, which would probably be a whole nother video in itself, which we can do from there. So what I'm going to do is, off screen, I'm just going to cut these two wings apart from each other, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, we're back with our wings separated. Now that after I thought about it, I should have did something cool like a snap and then the edit and whatever, but okay, blew that. But here we're back with the wings separated, and we're gonna go ahead and set up to put our left side wing on first. And again, we're using the back so we can see it very well. I'm going to pull off, actually, I'm going to go ahead and press this as well. So I'm going to turn on my heat press to get that nice and cooking. So now I'm going to line it up good, get it nice and centered. And I'm going to start playing where I want this to be. I'm looking at the centered on the 4, looks really good. I could pull it into the shirt and put it at the left group in the middle there, which I think is I don't know, a little bit, could I go higher? And when you're doing this, there is no exact place to put it when you line it up like this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find out by putting it in several different places using the dots, where exactly you want it. I think I want it a little higher. You know what? I think I want it halfway between two. there and there. I'm gonna be particular. So, and then I'm going to use the straight edge. Well, I'm gonna put it right at the 4. And then I'm gonna use the dots to line it up with my carrier sheet, which I know is straight, and that keeps my item straight. You wanna be careful if your HTV carrier sheet grabs the guide and moves it, to move it back. So I'm gonna put it there and there. Line up my carrier sheet to make sure it's straight. And then what I'm gonna do is press down on my carrier sheet and then just pop this out. And now I've got my wing on the back there. Now the most important part of this is not exactly where you put it, because anywhere you wanted to put it, it would probably be fine. If you wanted the wing closer in, you could have did it, or if you wanted it farther out or higher up or closer down. The key issue is that the dots match on both sides. So whatever you did on one side, you can replicate it on the other side, and your wings are gonna be balanced. So it's not, with most things, it's more about the balancing of the graphic than anything else, because you don't want it to be off on one or the other. So we'll do a cut here and while my heat press is heating up, and we'll get ready to press it on the shirt. Okay, our heat press is warmed up. This is Sizer Easy Weed Stretch, which I've been using a lot lately. It's a beautiful vinyl, and I've kind of noticed that it really sinks down deep into the fibers of the shirt. I don't expect this stuff to ever peel. I expect the vinyl to outlast the shirt here. So one of the key things on this though is you want to make sure you get it fully pressed across the entire thing. So I'm gonna carefully make sure that I've got my whole heat press on it. And then we get it down. I'm not really putting a whole lot of pressure on it. I saw on a Facebook group the other day that a lady was literally getting on her knees and putting her knees and her whole weight. I don't know how she did it without breaking this thing in the middle, on the whole bar of the Easy Press. And yeah, I just thought that was absolutely nuts. So we peel back our carrier sheet and we got a nice press on that. Now I like to cool down my HTV. Some people say it's not necessary. I think it's completely up to you. I like to do it because I like to deactivate that the glue there. And then I like to come back behind that after I've deactivated the glue, and then I want to reheat it back up. This, I feel, this is going to help with a good sinking into the shirt. And I'm moving it just a little bit because I believe I'm scared that my wings are a little bit longer than my heat press is. If you do have the 15 by 15, it would work with no problem for yours, but I'm feeling like it's a little bit longer than my heat press, and I want to just make sure that I'm in there for it. But then I get it across there again. Should move the shirt, sorry. And then I cool it off real quickly because I like to bring that temperature down real quickly because I feel like it just locks in the vinyl. That could be me just mentally thinking that, and it really doesn't do anything. But it really gives me the feeling that it's really sinking this, especially this vinyl in there. And at the end of this, I'm gonna go ahead and add some really close-ups of the vinyl so you can see it. So we got our one side, one wing done. And so now what we're gonna do is line up our shirt again, right at the same collar, right at the same side. Keep it straight. And we're gonna put our second wing exactly where we put it, at the 4, and in between, lining up the carrier sheet with the dots, as long as we make sure we do it exactly the way we did it on the other side. And so now, pull that off. Now we have wings that are even, spread exactly from the center and in the exact same height space that's above the bottom of our t-shirt guy. And we'll go ahead and press that one. Sure, smooth. And again, I'm gonna just apply just a bit of pressure and move it just a little bit here because I could see the wings sticking out there. So I'm gonna keep it good in one spot for a while and come down and get that little spot. Make sure my top is good and pressed. That stayed on there a little bit longer than the recommended time, which is okay. This is a hot peel, so we're gonna peel it. We'll start at the top and it peels off nice and hot and wonderful. So now we're just gonna do our last step that locks it in, cool it down just a bit. Just so, if warm is not bad, piping hot is what I'm trying to get rid of. So we got it down, and now we will do a last press just for good measure. This is not part of the manufacturer recommendations. Might be overkill. If you decide not to do it, of course, it's entirely up to you. I just, it helps give me peace of mind and makes me feel like I'm doing more, and maybe I'm just fooling myself, but it makes me feel good about it. Same with this last step of getting it cooled down quicker. I just, like I said, I feel like while it's piping hot, I don't want it to just cross there. I want it to be like super hot and freeze real quick right into place. It's almost like a technique that's called quenching. Some people do it in polymer clay work, where after you get in polymer clay, you bake the clay, and that's what makes it hard. And some people take ice water and they take their polymer clay directly out of the oven and they put it in ice water to bring that temperature and just like lock it in real quick. In polymer clay though, you can crack your clay doing that too, so I found that out. But I'm trying to use the same technique here where I want to bring down that temperature real quickly just to lock in that HTV. And so from here, we have two well matched wings that are popping right at the exact same spot that were put on at two separate times up the t-shirt guide. So this is why we kind of changed the design to make this a little bit easier for people to work with. And I think that's one of the things we're doing here at Hestai. We're always working with our tools and our designs to see what works the best. I think that's a good thing about us being here at the Makeso craft shop and having people come by in classes and whatnot. We get a lot of feedback, especially where people are saying, okay, I need a better way to do this, or did you think about this ideal? And they're able to feed in ideals to us, and we can actually bring them to you as we discover them together. So from here, that is the new Easy T Maximus, new markings, same Easy T quality, same Easy T thickness of the Maximus, just with the new markings on top. Glad to bring that to you. It's available on our Amazon store and on our Etsy shop. Both are linked in the show notes down below. And then from here, I want to give you a nice close still photos of the zoomed in of this vinyl sunk into the shirt. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribe. Hope you like the video. If you have any comments or questions or anything of that nature, just let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.